Well, hello everyone. Here to show you the satellite radio 3D coloring right here. As you see right here, is I added, say, the details to say for say good examples. You say for satellite radio, and of course that I went ahead and added right here is a drawing right here. As I went ahead and at least try to at least it's like I went ahead and then colored in to say a kind of example, say of me, and then knowing about that with most of us would probably think about is like if you're going to be say listening to a radio, it is knowing about that the typical thing that you would maybe see on Facebook, it is just knowing about that. Go ahead and draw out like a little bit what I'm talking about but right here. But anyway, but if most of us, if we're familiar with like what you call as maybe anything like Skype call or anything like that, is knowing about is like a type of radio to where it has a screen to where it would show you dancing to the music. It is that knowing about this, like if most of us, if maybe if we're familiar with like what you call as Guitar Hero or any of those other say consoles, it is you got with the Guitar Hero. But other than that, is knowing about the type of art that I'm doing right here is talk about with satellite radio, and it's like with 3D it is knowing about a type of a screen that like a car design right here. So you got right here is the car design, but with the car design right here is I went ahead and drew say in different colors. You got the purple, and then of course along with the blue it is, and then of course the inside of the car. Go ahead and draw say inside the car. I'll go ahead and just color in a little bit of shade of red right here. It's like if it's say car with the letter, and anybody who maybe ask, it's like where's the steering wheel? But anyway, you'll probably think about it, is like if you want to make it as realistic as possible, is knowing about it's like where are the headlights and where's the steering wheel. But more likely that knowing about this is like the way I drew it is like more like a example right here of of a car that could be what you call as for 3D, is knowing about the type of car that it's visibly shown. It's like maybe like on what you call like if I can maybe draw out the details that it's like a stand apparently that you would stand the car. It would come like what you call it's like a form of a stand right here. Go ahead and use it. Say go ahead and use a marker right here as like an example, but you go ahead and draw as like if it were a stand. Go ahead and draw as like a stand, like a lamp right here, and then knowing about with the stand that would include like what you call a screen, kind of like this, that would show like what you call a gram. You say a hollow, say I guess they call it a hologram of a car. It is, and you can maybe get on the internet or something like that. It's like look up different car designs. It's like maybe back from the 1960s and along the 1970s. It is. But other than that, it's like you have like here's the car brand and maybe the future models, and if you like the Accelerate or something like that, it's like any car model that would be produced by a Ford dealer, or maybe the Nissan, anything like that. It's like maybe a Kia or anything like that. But other than that, you got right here is the car design, and with most people probably think about it's like with that satellite radio 3D is knowing about. You got right here is the 3D glasses, and I would probably think about do the research about it's like for 3D glasses, and knowing about it's like the type of things. It's like knowing about that. Really, the way I can draw it out, other than it's like knowing about put these glasses on to make it look like it's 3D. It is. But of course, the work I'm doing right here, of course, I've worked with a 3D coloring book before, but then the work that of course I'm showing right here, of course, is knowing about if you can maybe try to draw a something that looks like 3D. It is maybe. I can maybe use this maybe right here as an example right here of a nose, but go ahead and draw right here. It's like like a triangle shape right here, and then go ahead and draw. It's like you say if anybody around here have known about taking any type of I don't know if you call it calculus or say geometry, anything like that, but knowing about it's like a way that you can make it look 3D just by using just plain, you say paper it is, and along with the pen it is. Or if you're more like with most of us probably thinking about if you just want to watch it is. But anyway, but what I'm doing, of course, is making the design look 3D it is, and of course using another pen here, and go ahead and just draw some details. It's like right here is like the center right here. You got right there is the nose, and then of course some people I think about, maybe some nostrils. You say you got the the nostrils right here. But anyway, you got is the nose. People probably think about that, yeah, 3D, huh? But anyway, you're talking about is making it look realistic, is knowing about that, anything else that maybe you wanted to add, to the pictures like you got right here is the pencil right here. You add some deep, but anyway, ways you can make it look 3D, of course, is knowing about, really, in my own words, the same for 3D is knowing about ways to make it look more realistic. It is making the art look a little bit more realistic. And what some people probably think about is like the way I went and drew right there is the nose, and then of course, it's like that, and then of course to say my definition so far is that it's like for 3D. It's like, really, what does 3D mean? And of course, this will be what you call as an example of maybe what my handwriting looked like back at whenever I was in the 10th grade it was. And then I think this kind of like right here is what it looked like, I think, whenever I was in the 5th grade. But then of course, on my junior year, that's a little bit what it looks like. But then on my senior year, I remember knowing for the small handwriting it is that looks more like what it what it looks like. But other than that, is talking about right there. If I write it my own name, my own handwriting, go to the show. For go to the show it is. But other than that, as so far as talking about, it's like with the, say with nightlight, spell nightlight it is. It's like my own handwriting. But other than that, people probably think about that, yeah, it's like big or small, huh? Handwriting. A few people even told me that, you read that teeny tiny handwriting to me in full detail. But other than that, is talking about with satellite radio 3D, is like people probably think about that, yeah, that if you were to think about having like one of those radios it is, and you got the music symbol right there, and then of course you got right here is the planets, and I went ahead and picked, it's like knowing about, I would think that anybody more likely would have like a radio to where that they can listen to a lot of times at night. Maybe kids, it's like kids would maybe like to have something that they can maybe put in their room. It's like knowing about, if they had any spare time in their bedroom, that they would like to have something to where that it would maybe project a say maybe like a little space image, kind of like this, to where that maybe they can see some stars, and then of course where they can see, say, the different planets as they orbiting, say for planet Earth it is. It's like you kind of like what you say a screensaver maybe on the wall or something like that. But right here is, you got right here is like for planet Neptune it is, and I was going to maybe use Jupiter, but on the other hand too, that knowing about that, yeah, that I could probably think about that, whenever I drew that right there, that say a circle is like for the planet shape it is, that I was thinking about to go ahead and just use that as like an example of, say, a Neptune it is. But other people probably think about is like knowing about what the planets to say in the galaxy of the Milky Way it is knowing about, it's like if you're going to be using different planets it is, and knowing about is like knowing about the actual colors it goes by. But just say that if you had a satellite radio that would be able to display kind of like a display like this, and people probably thinking about that knowing about any curious kid that knowing about that, yeah, I go like to have something where you can display the planets, and then you show them like you got the moon right there. Hey, you got the moon right there, and then of course you go ahead and draw a little bit detail right there with the moon, and you got the moon right here. And just knowing about, people probably thinking about with the moon. Oh, the moon. Like, well, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Other than that, there may be some curious kids that may wonder. It's like, oh, you got the moon. It's like, oh, the moon. the moon. Other than that, like knowing about it, they see something maybe interesting, maybe a little 1 or 2 year old that they may think about is like that that's something that they may want to touch. And on the other hand too, that knowing about that, yeah, that it's like knowing about how many light years really is the moon. Say away, if you say from the planet Earth it is. It's like knowing about, it's like, you know, for the light years it is, and but I think about it, it's like to talk about it's like typical science it is, huh? But other than that, is knowing about what the radio stations that you can maybe listen to. Of course, I can maybe have fun for about 3 hours working on this activity right here, but talking about what's like satellite radio is talk about right here. This will be like what you call me, is like dancing to the music, say on the road, like on the radio it is. It's like, we're having a party, everybody swing it. And then if I were to maybe rephrase it in my own words, it's like knowing about, yeah, having a party. It's like, you know, right now I can know about, I'm going to show you what I can do. Show you what I can do, and just knowing about that anybody will probably, you know, be wondering about, it's like if there's any type of what you call a satellite radio, it's like in 3D, and just knowing about that, yeah, that there's something that you can maybe talk to a friend of yours, or maybe, you know, family, whoever, and just knowing about, it's like, you know, hey, you want to shake hands? It's like, and you know, I want to, you know, show you, you know, this is the song that I remember listening to whenever I was young. It's like, you know, maybe if it's a, you know, the song by some music writer it is, but other than that, it's like talking about, it's like, if I can maybe think of a song, it's like I can walk, and then, you know, it's like and I've been walking in, or anything like that, or like a typical song that I can maybe think of the words. It's like that knowing about. It's like it's like talking about. It's like if I can shake it to the left and then shake it to the right, and then what can I do to impress? It's like into my look. It's like I'll be glad for it. You know, and now it's like, or knowing about, it's like, you know, they're too good looking to know about, you know, it's like the way I look. It's like, and then knowing like what you call, it's like maybe the song, it's like maybe from one of those Beatles, the Beatles song or anything like that, is knowing about. It's like they say, like and you got me rocking it out, and then he rocking it out. But other than that, and knowing about what like satellite radio it is right here. But other than that, is knowing about that yeah, that, you know, any songs that we can maybe think about or maybe want to write, of course, and I could probably think about if I could maybe write a song within that maybe a few seconds, is knowing about, is like that it will be like and I can do it, I can do this and I can do that, but then you'll know that it's like that you did the talents is all that. But other than that, is knowing about that if I were to actually sing a song, of course, it more likely that you know, be working a little bit on the lyrics, but on your hand too, knowing about is if I could you know, think about the type of image that I would want to use for this drawing right here. Of course, as you got right here is a screen right here, and it would display, would say, is an image of me, or what I look like, and knowing about if I were to be dancing to the music it is. It's like on the radio or anything like that, like, or radio 5.2. I can turn on and say a weather forecast for central Candido, say county it is. But other than that, is knowing about, like right here, is like you have right here maybe an example right here of me, and then of course you got right there is the car design. But anyway, knowing about with me that you know, I'm also thinking about the time I had to talk about this too. But anyway, but I would probably think about, you know, any type of radio that we may think that we want to have, maybe a car design, or maybe a type of night light. I know a lot of kids would maybe like to have something that where you can have like a night light, to where it's like you have right here is it's like, you know, the bulb right here, and then something that you could maybe put in the bedroom to help them see at night, or anything like that. But I would probably think about anybody who would probably think about is make maybe a perfect gift idea. It's like, you know, for the perfect gift. It's like, you know, for the perfect you know, gift idea it is knowing about that, you know, for the perfect gift is something that maybe that they can use. It's like you say every day it is, and more likely that you know, every day, and more likely that you could probably think about that, yeah, that you know, maybe like a clock or something like that, or maybe something that you would think that one of these things would be expensive it is, but on your hand too, that knowing about that, yeah, you know, expensive, huh? Well, you know, more likely it could maybe be affordable, maybe if you talk about it, huh? If you talk about it, you know, maybe add It's like, details like, this is what I want. Yeah, this is what I like to have in my bedroom one of these days. And more likely, they could probably think about is like, so far as with free it is. It's like doing about with me that it's like talk about with free, between free and fee it is. It's like, fee and free, free versus fee it is knowing about, it's like there's no cost to ya. There's no cost to ya, and then you got a rocket and already ya. But other than that, it's like, and then you got a rocket already now. And then you got a rocket already done. And then other than that, it's talk about, it's like for satellite radio 3D color.